asking for an absolute discharge. So this is an individual who came to this city with the best of intentions. That's been recognized by the judge. She has been under strict bail conditions for 3.5 years. She spent 49 days in jail for the offense of mischief. And if one looks at the positive things, the positive impact that she's had on the lives of many Canadians and the community service that she has continued to do, there's absolutely no reason for her not to receive an absolute discharge.
At the beginning of your remarks today, you commented that the Crown can't credibly argue that this is not a political prosecution. You said that, I can't remember the exact words, but I think something like inane, or could you speak a bit more to that?
What the Crown keeps saying is that we take no issue with their political beliefs or their right to express their beliefs, but we're here because of the means that they chose to use to advance those beliefs. Well, it's absolutely inaccurate, because the means that were implemented by Tamara Lich were always peaceful, safe, and lawful demonstration. The means that were implemented by others, over which she had no control, and for which she's now being held responsible, those means were what caused the consequences. And the real reason we're here is not because of the means that were chosen by Tamara Lich or Chris Barber. The real reason we're here is because of the consequences to the residents in the city of Ottawa and the businesses located in the downtown zone.
Mr. Greenspon, you have lived in Ottawa a long time. You're probably the city's most famous lawyer, or
very
not
kind
to
of you.
fill your ego here.
Very kind of you.
Very well-known
Make
face
sure that
in the
part
Ottawa
doesn't get
legal.
cut, okay?
What did you think, just as a resident of this city, when you saw the convoy, and what prompted you to want to take on defending Tamara?
To me, this is our office is right on the edge of the red zone, so we were close by. Were there individuals who abused the privilege and the rights of freedom of expression and peaceful assembly? Yes. And there are outliers in virtually any public demonstration. But the reason I was committed to this case is because I believe that the rights, the constitutionally entrenched rights of individuals to freedom of expression and peaceful assembly has to take precedence over the unconstitutionally protected rights to enjoyment of property. And I've said many times, in a battle as between constitutionally protected freedom of expression and infringement of the right to enjoyment of property, there is no contest. Freedom of expression should win every single time.
How did people that you've known for a long time, maybe even folks like Jim Watson, how did they react when they found out you were taking on this case? Oh,
there's Greenspon taking on another one of those. No, we've received at the office, we've received many letters of support. We've received some hate mail. My friends, family all know that this is part of the work that I do. And for me, when I'm standing there talking about Tamara Lich and what she did in the fight for freedom, it hits very close to home. It's really hard to measure. We've received many stories of individuals whose lives were changed as a result of Tamara and Chris standing up for the beliefs that they had, but they were also the beliefs of many people. Many people lost their jobs as a result of
I lost work opportunities, and I was denied the opportunity of visiting loved ones.
Yeah, and you are one of, I suspect, thousands, if not more.
It's millions.
It's
10% of Canada is millions of people.
Yeah, it's they're people that were that suffered those losses, and nobody stood up for them. Nobody except Chris and Tamara.
We've got to criminalize that now.
Given what the prosecution is seeking, the 7 years in prison, how is Tamara doing at this stage? What is her outlook on this current situation?
Tamara is Tamara. She is
What does that mean?
incredibly positive, optimistic, compassionate. I mean, she is still approached by people on a daily basis, and she has maintained her positive attitude. She has faith that the court will provide an appropriate sentence given what she did and what she didn't do.
Why were some of the victim impact statements about Tamara and Chris, if I heard correctly, they weren't actually about Tamara Lich and Chris Barber? They were from the $300 million class action suit.
That's right.
Can you explain how a class action suit, a for-profit civil action, could be commingled by the prosecutor for a criminal action? How did that happen? Was that disclosed to the court? How does Mr. Champ's litigation find its way into a government prosecution?
Well, I think those are really valid questions to be answered by the Crown. All I can say is when I got the victim impact statements, and it was clear on the face of I think 9 of the 12 of them, there was no mention of Tamara Lich and Chris Barber on the cover page of the victim impact statement. So that was my first concern. It then became evident when you started going through them that these documents were prepared for other proceedings, including POEC and including the class action. It was certainly my intention to raise the issue of the class action because that's a $300 million class action to which all of these residents in the downtown core, all of the businesses that say they've suffered, they're all going to be plaintiffs in that action. They're all going to be claiming their money damages in that class action. And Her Honor was well, became well aware of that. We provided the statement of claim. Yes, it's only a pleading, but it's also an outline of where counsel on behalf of those plaintiffs is intending to go.
Was there any deception, or was this made clear to the judge? Was it apparent that these were prepared by private lawyers suing for cash? Like, was there any indication, an asterisk or a footnote?
Well, I think if you look at the document, I mean, certainly the one for the City of Ottawa and the one for the police, it's clear on its face that this was prepared for some other proceeding. There's one victim impact statement that was clearly prepared for the Pat King case. There were, a number of them which had no indication of which case they were prepared for. So, all of that was pointed out to the judge.
What should happen to them now?
Well, you've already heard that Her Honor is, how she intends to, she's going to review them, and she's going to give them the weight that she feels is appropriate.
The judge has intervened quite a bit during your submissions. I'm wondering if you've been able to glean anything from that back and forth about her reasoning and where she's likely to come down.
It's interesting. My daughter is here, and she said, "Dad, they seem to. The judge seems to be intervening a lot." That is a style of this particular judge, and I think it's clear from those interventions that she knows this evidence cold. It's also clear that she's interested in listening to submissions of counsel, both counsel, the Crown and the defense. And I think that her numerous interventions are, to me, it always indicates that this is an area of interest for her.
But have you heard anything that bodes well or ill?
No, I think she's also pretty expert at keeping her cards close to the chest.
Mr. Greenspon, you mentioned that Tamara Lich raised money for the Freedom Convoy. That was one of her main roles. Now, would she not? Yes. Would she not then be responsible for the actions of truckers who got money from that fundraising?
Well, I think you're asking a legal question, and it's really much more a matter of the class action that I didn't deal with the issue of money raised. That was something that the judge indicated that she was a leader and organizer, and that she helped to raise money for the truckers. And that's not really an issue here.
Yeah, what do you make of Pierre Poilievre and several Conservative MPs just in the days leading up to this? Weighing in on the Crown sentencing submission. I believe it was Melissa Lansman who may have used the word vindictive in her description of what was happening. But you don't usually hear from politicians doing that.
No, much as I liked what they had to say, I don't think they should be saying it. I mean, the separation of church and state, or in this case, legislature from judiciary, is something that is highly valued in our country, as you know.
I'd like to know if that interference goes the other way. I'd like to know what communications are happening in the background, because I think that would be valuable and informative. But unfortunately, I don't believe there's any way of any of us to know.
Good luck. You guys are going to have to dig deep to find that if it is there.
It'll be a real story.
Okay?
How
We
much
good?
of this case do you think is trial by media or public opinion?
I don't know. You'd have to ask these guys. I mean, I think they're the ones, right? No, I think it's the media has obviously has had a tremendous ongoing interest in this case. It is a case that pits a peaceful assembly, freedom of expression, against the rights of residents and property owners and business owners, and it happened right here. It was, as I say, an unprecedented demonstration for at least two reasons. One, because of all the positive things that came out of it, and two, because it was a demonstration in which the protesters were working with the authorities to try and reduce the impact, reduce the footprint of the very protest that they were participating in. That's unprecedented.
All right, follow up. You said in the courtroom that the average person on the street is not aware of the finer details of this case. Do you think that the mainstream media in this country has done an accurate job getting those finer and important details to regular Canadians? And for example, yesterday we had CTV News report that one of the accused's parents had died. A very basic and egregious mistake. And that's more of a statement than a question, but if you would just follow up on the first part.
Yeah, I think the media has done the Canadian public a service in letting the public know what has been going on in the courtroom, what has been going on during the convoy, and people have different perspectives on it. On any given day, there's something that I may think is important to highlight, and that may or may not be picked up. And I think the end result, though, is that some of the finer points, for example, the agreement between Tamara Lich and the mayor, some of the incredible efforts of Chris Barber to try and have trucks move, the success of moving 40 rigs of 102 vehicles. Some of those things may not even have been known to the Prime Minister when he decided to impose the Emergency Measures Act. So I wouldn't expect that the average person on the street to be aware of those very mitigating factors.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Al.